through and take a look at the Senate race. Lucas Kunce out to an early lead, up by 41,000 votes. But again, he has St. Louis City totals coming in, 84 to 13, 84 to 14 there in the city. He ran up totals. Again, that's early. We expect to see a lot more votes come in. These may be early votes in the city of St. Louis. The same could be true in St. Louis County, 65-32. You see as we go farther away from the urban city center, Josh Hawley starts to improve his number. Let's look up here in Lincoln County, 70 to 28. So that's about what we've come to expect in Missouri. Cole County, 58, Josh Hawley, very early. We're going to see more votes in Cole County. Lucas Kunce, 39%. Let's go back out to the totals here. Again, we're a long way off here, but I want to hear from our panel in a moment about how much of an upset would it be if Lucas Kunce could somehow pull off the victory? And Jeff Smith, I'll throw the question to you because he did this entire campaign, Lucas Kunce did, without the help of the Senate Democrats. Dick Durbin said, look, I wish you well. Good luck. Go out there and fight like heck. What kind of an upset would it be if Lucas Kunce could somehow pull this off without the party apparatus behind him?
Look, it would be the biggest upset of any U.S. Senate race in the country this year if he wins. I mean, so far people have looked at the Nebraska race as a huge potential upset because that's a pretty red state, but that's gotten some publicity and been on the national radar screen the last few weeks. If Kunce were to win, which I think is unlikely, but if he would, it would be the biggest upset of the election cycle.
Yeah, and we're looking at the math. I mean, St. Louis City and St. Louis County, that's some of the most populated territory in the state. We haven't seen a lot of the lesser populated counties report their results back yet. So there was a long way to go here, Anita. But as you look at this and analyze that early result, what is the pathway to victory for Lucas Kunce? How does he need to? What is he looking for in turnout and in the map? I mean, does he need to do well in other areas outside of Columbia, Kansas City, and St. Louis?
He does. He can't just win those blue areas. He needs to win them and win them with high turnout and wide margins. He needs to put together that coalition that Claire McCaskill had. So, doing better in counties like Jefferson County, the surrounding Collier counties, and doing better in rural and outlying Missouri. You're not going to win maybe those areas, but to narrow those gaps. And I do think that he's been working the rural areas. When he ran against Trudy Busch Valentine in the primary, he performed better in outstate Missouri than she did. So I think that's his glimmer of hope if he has a chance.
And Lynn Schmidt, we saw during this campaign that Senator Hawley tried to create some distance between himself and some of the less popular abortion restrictions, like no exceptions in case of rape or incest. The senator said, hey, look, I believe in those exceptions there, but he couldn't support the amendment here. How do you see abortion politics influencing this Senate race, if at all?
I think people will split their ticket when it comes to whether they will vote for Senator Hawley or whether they will vote yes on Amendment 3.
And Senator May, I mean, there are a lot of, I guess the conventional thinking in Missouri is that voters here like a Republican in Washington, D.C. Maybe they'll put a Democrat in the governor's mansion, but they'll send Donald Trump to the White House, or they'll send Josh Hawley to the U.S. Senate. What is your thought on this? And does Luke, I know you were an opponent of Lucas Kunce in the primary race there. Things didn't work out the way you'd hoped. But what is his path to victory tonight, and what is the strategy that you see as his best chance at pulling off this upset?
Look, so he ran a campaign where, he wanted to really, try to appeal to some of those swing voters in the state, some independents, and some Republicans that were, leaning away from Donald Trump. I think that Lucas Kunce has a huge opportunity here to win because Josh Hawley, has not been favorable, since January 6th, since we saw him, hauling Hawley running on January the 6th, doing the insurrection and some of the things that he said in supporting a total abortion ban in the state. I think that we're going to be the deciding vote, really, in the state and, in the country, actually. And I think that they're going to vote, it's going to be a very, very close race. And I think Lucas Kunce might edge it out.
And Lynn, you're ready to chime in here too.
Yeah, I think Lucas may pick up some of those more traditional Republican voters like myself who are less isolationist and pro-Ukraine, frankly. I mean, I think that's may not be a big issue for some, but it might be for some.
Yeah, we saw in that debate stage. Senator Eigel, I want to get to you in a minute on some of the economics and some of the populism, the isolationism on the foreign policy stage in the Senate race. But we did see a difference there. You had the Marine, Lucas Kunce, saying, we're saving the expense of American blood, American soldiers, and by spending so much money in helping to build Ukraine's defense. But Senator Eigel, I want to bring you in here. Kansas City, close to Independence. This area here, Jackson County, we've isolated Jackson County. Lucas Kunce from this western side of the state, but early on in this big county, only up by 4,000 votes or so. Again, early, very early. We expect to see a lot more vote totals come in than just that. But if Lucas Kunce can only outperform Josh Hawley by about 10 percentage points, 11 percentage points in that urban city center, what does that say for the Democrats' chances against the incumbent Republican?
It doesn't change the fact that Josh Hawley is going to be reelected. In fact, I think the only people that honestly believe that Lucas Kunce could pull this off are the 4 people that showed up to his victory party tonight. So the reality is I think Josh Hawley is going to win by a wide margin, and it's taking all of Kansas City, St. Louis County, and St. Louis City to give Lucas Kunce even a very early lead right now. So this is going to change. I'm curious how long it's going to take for the votes to come in, but when they do,
Yep.
Josh Hawley is going to be reelected by a wide margin.